Good morning, Voodoo.
What's up, man? I feel like you have once again just been on Twitter and on Spaces nonstop for like 72 hours in a row, at least.
Dude, it's been like a phantom just NFT bonanza. It's been so much fun. A lot of shit
I
going
know,
on.
man. I'm super excited. We have an awesome show today. We're finally going to bring on a guest from the AVAX side. We've got Dyslexic from AVAX Apes, one of the premier blue chips on AVAX. So, man, welcome Dyslexic. We were having some video issues earlier because obviously he has dial-up internet where he is, but they're we're trying to help the apes make enough money so he can afford the good internet. So, how you doing, man?
Yeah, I'm doing great. Thanks. Thanks for inviting me on to talk about Avalanche and the wonderful things that are happening with us at the moment. And yeah, apologies for the internet. It's not the best at all in England.
You're good. You're good, man. We're super excited to have you on. You guys have been incredible at welcoming us to AVAX and giving us support as we branch out from just our awesome Phantom home base and roots here to really try to bring some incredible projects to AVAX. And so, Tinfoil, I want to kind of hand it over to you to start the conversation with Dyslexic. And yeah, and we're just super pumped to have you on.
Yeah, man. So, I mean, today for us, like we kind of want to learn more about the AVAX ecosystem. So, I want to start with like the one thing that I've noticed on our little journey across chain is that AVAX seems a lot about utility. Um, there seems to be a lot of you can stake your NFTs and earn some kind of ERC20 token. Uh, am I do I have a good understanding of that? Because
Yeah, I think at the moment you have a very good understanding of what the hype is. The hype's certainly around projects that are delivering utilities to holders. It's not always been that case. I think we've had a couple of phases. So first up, obviously, like most changes start with the profile picture type NFT, and then you get new people come to the scene, new projects. What are they going to bring? But I think the core has been at Avalanche that we're happy to ape into projects that bring something new or bring something unique. So we had a number of NFT projects that come and were profile pictures only, but then we kind of wanted more. We've got a massive amount of liquidity for DeFi lovers over on Avalanche, so we're not necessarily bringing people onto the chain just for NFTs. We're kind of converting the people who are using DeFi and then using the profits that they're making through their standard mechanisms over into NFTs. So that model, the likes of Chicken that they introduced, where you're actually earning from the NFT as well as holding its intrinsic value, is doing very well. I think the latest craze has been these node type projects. Um, I'm not sure it'll last forever. I'm not sure it'll last forever. There will be a set time when that type of project becomes too diluted, and it'll all be about what is next. So if somebody can come up with something fascinating that intrigues the audience and it drives value, regardless of what that value is, then I think they'll be successful. But what will happen for sure is once somebody shows success in a different theme, you'll have some, not necessarily copy pastas, but you'll have other projects that follow your mechanism and the understanding of it. Um, but that's the beauty of NFTs, isn't it? We're only scratching the surface at the moment. So I'm excited about what the next phase is going to be and getting in early for it. But yeah, Chicken, for an example, has really set the way, and they're leading by example, I think.
yeah, no, that's something that it's funny because the node I haven't even dove down the node whole rabbit hole thing because those are starting to pop up on Phantom a little bit. Um, when it comes to the community building aspect with Phantom, like it's one thing that we all love about the chain, about the NFTs and the projects. It's something that we as Potluck have tried to bring even more so hosting these Discord parties where there's 200 people in there. Uh, I'm trying to do Twitter Spaces every morning, just having 50 to 100 people in there, just talking the ecosystem. What's the community building been like over on Avalanche?
From a personal perspective, it's been pretty amazing. I think we got very lucky, or I got very lucky in the position I found myself in. AVAX Apes was the first NFT project to sell out in such speed, so we sold out in 13 minutes on the 2nd of September.
Okay.
And until that time, there wasn't that type of liquidity. There were projects that come before. There were some great projects that come before, but no one quite sold out and had that hype behind them. So we almost immediately had a community and a foundation to then say, where do we want to go? What comes next? Our own roadmap, for instance, was very poor. If you looked at our roadmap now, it was once we'd minted 25%, we'd give away 10 pieces. 50%, we'd give away another 10 pieces. 75%, we'll give away 75 pieces or 20 pieces. And then once we'd minted 100%, we'll give you a marketplace of our own. So delivering your roadmap in 13 minutes is a bit of a struggle, because the hardest bit was the development team behind Apes were trying their best to actually buy the amount of pieces to actually then give them away. But what we had was a core amount of people. You're always going to have people who are looking for quick flips and profits on NFTs at that time was unheard of. So obviously we lost quite a lot of people. We then got some come back, but we've still got a hell of a group, an absolute hell of a group over at AVAX Apes at the minute, who've gone on to found. I think that's the most impressive thing, is that they've gone on to found probably 20 to 25 different other projects within Avalanche. Whether that's an NFT project, whether that's a DAO. We've had some massive success. So I had it easy that we was very early, so we kind of had the luck and we could ride that out. In terms of the things that you guys are doing, you're doing things that we don't necessarily have yet on Avalanche, regardless of the projects. We do have some very good projects that have tried a lot and are very clean and execute very well. Party Animals comes to mind. They've got a hell of a lot of stuff that goes on in their Discord. But taking it to that next level, the YouTube session that we're on now, we don't really have anything of that nature. So to say you're trying very hard, I would imagine you've just not yet got the liquidity. You've maybe not got the competition, because when everyone's fighting and when everyone's trying their best to get to the top, that's only motivation to make you try harder.
I love hearing that, and I do want to get into this a little bit about what are the holes you feel can be filled in the AVAX ecosystem. We've got lots in Phantom, whether it's the plumbing of our marketplaces, whether it's feeling like we don't have a hub of information where like people can just come and know where to go to get information. Do you want to get into any like what holes are there in the AVAX ecosystem?
Yeah, there's a fair few holes, for sure. Some of them are slowly starting to get plugged. For instance, Rarity, a site where you can go and check the rarity of pieces and the ranking of pieces, preferably without it being a paid entry. But it's very difficult to get a quality build without earning income. But I'm not sure the income models that we've got at the moment are the best to follow. But we have got a couple. Avax Rarity, for instance, are trying really hard. They were in the space early. They did a lot of good work for the apes, and then splintered and went to do their own thing, which is working. You've got Avax NFT Stats, which is very, very new. But that gives ranking of projects, gives daily transaction volumes. It actually shows a market cap for the NFTs as a whole on Avalanche. These things haven't been around before, so they're coming. I don't think they're refined yet. I don't think they're perfect yet. But bear in mind that they are very early, so they're building. They're constantly moving through. We've always had an age-old problem with marketplaces. When Apes launched, we only had NF Trade, and that was very early on in its journey. Obviously, we've seen growth there. We've also had Kalau, who've come over, and they've done a wonderful job. I'm not going to lie, I've said it many a time. I hated the marketplace when I first used it. I just couldn't use it, and I refused to use it. But lately, they've done a lot of good work, and the actual UX and user interface on it is getting very good.
Mm.
So yeah, they're the major gaps at the minute, I think. We'd also like, obviously, shows. There's not a huge amount of Twitter Spaces. There's been a couple of other projects I've been looking to launch lately. I'm looking to speak on Twitter Spaces, have these types of sessions, and we've not got a massive amount of opportunity to get out there. Um, Apes, at Avax Apes, we've tried our very best to grow the community. We felt like we was fighting our own way for quite a long time. There was a number of rugs and a number of horrible projects that launched, and the momentum was really down. So we knew there was essentially a struggle for new projects coming on board. Who was actually getting to know them? Who was giving them the exposure through quite a large following on Twitter, for example, or a community hub to come to and ask questions for and advice? So we tried to fill that gap for a while, but it's a hard thing to do on a chain that's growing so fast. It's not really the place of an NFT project to be doing that. It's
Mhm.
okay every now and again, but I think for that to be the only avenue for new projects to launch through, um, it's not really right. It doesn't feel right because you're essentially only shilling or only promoting to one set of a community rather than the entirety of the chain. And that kind of goes against the whole theory of it. If you come to Avalanche, if you don't buy an Avax Ape, I don't mind, as long as you buy an NFT. Come and buy
Mhm.
an NFT, any of them, and then you're on the chain, you're experiencing it, you're there sharing your knowledge with everyone else. So yeah, um, I think that's kind of
Yeah.
how we stand at the moment, and some of the battles we're going through.
Yeah, I think that's perfectly said, and kind of the ethos that we want to have. At Potluck Labs is, we're doing these type of shows to bring attention. Yes, of course, we get attention on our projects, but if new buyers come into the Phantom NFT space in general, then that's good for us and it's good for everybody else. And so we always want to highlight the projects that are doing amazing things. Like I just saw in the chat, Little Esper or Lil, no T in there,
Yeah.
Lil Esper. She is doing some incredible stuff with her mage punks and the drops, and not just dropping. She did basically the stealth drop of these punks that are awesome. So you'll have to check those out, dyslexic, but they're sick art. But then the utility behind them. Just all the extra things she's done to add. And it's all stealth. Like she doesn't have a Discord that I don't think so. Like you can't, Mage Punks doesn't have anything that you can tag it. It's just, hey, I want to drop awesome art and build community through the fact that it's actually hard to figure out, hard to find. I think it's pretty awesome. But you think there's just so many projects, I think on Phantom that would benefit from us having two to three times the buyers. So our job here is, like, as a Potluck Labs, is, yeah, keep producing great art, but we got to bring in buyers. And so what are some things we can do? Well, we can do the YouTube show. We can add some things like newsletters for the ecosystem that highlight kind of what you said, the website that's highlighting the sales volume and different things. We can do stuff like that. We can do cross-chain auctions to bring in other communities into our Discord from different chains to be able to experience Phantom. And so, going to Avalanche, I think is twofold for us. It's one, we have great artists and great projects that need to reach their full potential. They need more buyers. And so we need to go to chains where the buyers are. But then also, when we go to those chains, Phantom buyers go to AVAX and they get to experience those communities and get to buy art there. So it's like cross pollination. It benefits AVAX, and then AVAX buyers also will come over, and because they like our projects, see more of our projects on Phantom, and they come over to Phantom, and they might not stick with Potluck Labs projects. They might go to all the different ones in the ecosystem. So I just think when you have that attitude of, man, let's support other projects, let's make the ecosystem grow the best we can. I mean, I think that's the best ethos to have. But the one thing you mentioned, we were talking about it before, was the different rugs that were happening. Like that, I think the number one hole in the ecosystem, it sounds like, is probably trust more than anything else. It's trust between different projects, and with the new projects coming in. And we just had that really happen in Phantom in the DeFi space over the last couple months. We had a bad rug that really hurt a lot of people in December, or actually, it wasn't a rug. It was, an exploit that hurt a lot of people. And then there's been quite a few rugs lately, as when DeFi, spikes up, you get rugs. Well, we just had our first big NFT rug.
Mhm,
I think it's the first big one where they
mhm.
became like, it was a protocol
Well,
that had a GameFi aspect, became the number one trending, or one of the top two or three trending in sales. And then not only did they rug and take all the money, but they also were draining all the wallets that had interacted with it. And so I think that type of stuff is the number one killer, because you can only move a business or a community at the speed of trust. So the better, people trust each other, the quicker you can move, the quicker you can develop, the quicker you can advance. And nothing hurts growth or stunts growth more than breaking that trust. And so I feel like us coming over there and having trusted communities like yourselves, who are doxxed, who can also trust us because we're doxxed and we've proven that we're trustworthy on Phantom. I think that can only help both ecosystems.
well, it's something that, like, I'm, even on that data DAO thing, the community came together immediately as soon as that happened. There was multiple Twitter Spaces going on saying, "Guys, get to these websites, go drop your permissions. Shit's going down. Like, we gotta tell everybody." Um, so there's stuff like that we want to bring that to AVAX too. Uh, this grassrootsness that we've kind of grown up in this space. Um, yeah, that's kind of what we want to just continue to bring around. We've always had this kind of like anti VC chain mentality. Um, and to me, like, it just builds such a crazy base for a community.
I'm taken a little aback by your disclosure of the rug, where you've talked about draining wallets. Touch wood. Fortunately, when I'm talking about rugs, I'm mainly talking about soft rugs on Avalanche. So they are draining liquidity, but they're draining liquidity through missed promises, disappearing teams, rather than outright theft of the piece, or your wallet, and that's scary. I think the way we recovered from that as a chain, because we had a number, like I mentioned, and we was a very small liquidity pool. Um, and I felt at many times AVAX Apes community were the monopoly of the chain. So when these new projects came about, although we'd not necessarily given support, when we'd had Ava Labs giving their official support or their back into these projects, our guys aped in pretty hard, and then essentially lost their money on projects that were no good. So it really hurt the economy, but more importantly, it hurt the trust of the Avalanche guys, because it's not their fault. They were trying to support, they were trying to promote people, which was perfect, and we loved it when we started seeing the team tweeting saying this project's launching or this NFT sold, etc. That was such an exciting time for us to see, because we'd never experienced it before. Now, when they go south and sour, people start saying they're to blame. They're not really, but it means that they have to be ever so careful about what they now tweet and how they say, not financial advice every 30 seconds. Um, I feel we're just past it, but the importance of whenever there's a rug, regardless of what type of rug it is, people have to talk about it, and it's great to see that you had the spaces popping up. You have to be talking about it all the time, no matter, even if teams are doxed. You have to have the conversation about what are the chances that this team rug, and what is their intention. Um, regardless of what you think about them, there's always a chance that somebody will rug on you. So speak to the community, get all your opinions, do every bit of research you possibly can, because you can't go throwing around your AVAX or your Phantom like it's worthless, because this is a lot of money. You work hard to get this funds, so don't waste it, because when you do get rugged, it's a horrible place to be, but you learn a hell of a lot of lessons when you come out on the other side. And anyone who's still standing, especially on Ape side, who remembers the likes of Avax trees, they have my utmost respect for still being around, because it was an awful time.
Yeah, I'm you know, before we hop in, we're about to hop into our topics in just a minute. But I think that when we're talking about um, communities and projects that come up and they're asking, when you just do the math, okay, let's say it's 5,000 mints at 2 AVAX each, and you're doing the math on what this team is going to make, and then you read the roadmap, and the roadmap is really what's telling somebody, okay, I think that what I'm buying right now is going to be worth more than 2 AVAX in the future because of this roadmap. And so what I've seen over and over, and this is business in general, but especially in NFTs, and this is just a word of warning to anyone who's creating a project, is don't overpromise in your roadmap. Because so many projects, their Gen 2 or their Gen 3 or what they have planned is not even possible unless they sell out. And then even if they sell out, they got to be wise with their money. And so I see so many projects promising games, promising use cases that are going to require a massive amount of capital that is not even possible unless they sell out. So we've been very intentional. People want to see our roadmaps. Our roadmaps are very simple because we always I want to give you hope that everything you invest in is going to be worth more, but I also never want to under deliver. And so one of our things is, we're going to put out great products and we're going to over deliver as much as we can, so that when somebody invests, in our case on Phantom, they invest 20 to 30. Phantom is typically the range that our projects are in, sometimes 35 or 40. If they invest that much, I want them to be pretty certain that if I hold this, I'm gonna make a profit on my investment, because I really do look at NFTs as DeFi tokens. People are buying them because they want to realize a profit. But not only, the great part about NFTs is, in addition, that's why I've really fallen in love with the space, is because in addition to owning tokens that then could be worth more, is now you have entrance and basically a ticket into a community that you can feel a part of, that you have something in common with, that now you have a status within because of your PFPs or whatever. And it just it's so much more fun than most DeFi projects, because it's all about the fact that, man, we're all in this together, and yes, we want to make a profit, but we belong together. And I think that's what makes NFTs so stinking special. So Tinfoil, you ready for these topics, man?
Yeah, let's get into it. This is my favorite part of the whole show.
Me too. All right. So we're going to split these first couple up into about half AVAX, half Phantom. So Dyslexic, I don't know if you want to go first. Do you have any projects? Obviously, we're minting. The Rat Pack has about 600 mints left before we close the minter. We've got a 1,500 supply on AVAX at 0.8 AVAX. And it's Rat Pack Mafia, avax.com, ratpackmafia.avax.com. At the end of the mint, as soon as we mint out, we have, and I'm not telling you what the project is, but it's pretty exciting, but we're going to do a 1-to-1 airdrop. So we're going to airdrop 1,500. So if you buy 10 rats, you're going to get 10 of these. And so we're going to do a completely free airdrop. And Dyslexic, you talked to us about maybe some trust issues where a community is like, man, how do you guys make money? Well, the great part about being on multiple chains is, we can do a project where we make profit on one chain and then we offer value on the other. And that's going to go back and forth between AVAX and Phantom to our holders, because we want to continually provide value. I mean, just last week, we dropped 3 full collections as free airdrops to our holders that we did no mint on. 3 full collections. So it's crazy, but it's exciting. So that's what we have minting on AVAX. What else is minting that maybe if there's people of ours that are listening that are new on AVAX, what should they be looking out for? And I know, do your own research, right? But 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 what's minting?
Yeah, do your own research, but chase me down on Twitter if any of these go to pot. So upcoming mints to look out for. You've got Time Bombs, which is a small size mint. Interesting concept. I won't go into the details of it because I hosted the team on a space the other day and my mind was blown by what they explained. Essentially, you've got 999 pieces. Over time, they will tick down, some will explode. The ones that are remaining, there'll end up being 3 left at the end that are worth a significant amount of the money that has been raised. I find it fascinating because throughout this journey, everybody loves floor prices and talking about floor prices, other than I think community managers. So the whole transaction of that, as some get not deleted, but essentially out of the game, the floor price should slowly start going up, and there may be bargains, there may be flip opportunities. I'm fascinated to see that. And that's one of our guys from AVAX Apes who's behind the project. Next, you've got Ava Sharks that are coming. Now, the thing I like about this team is that they've been lingering for a very long time. They didn't arrive and just immediately blow up and say, here's the project. They've been lingering for ages without doing anything. And then all of a sudden, they've slowly started revealing more and more about the project. So Ava Sharks is coming up. Keep your eye out. Snowmen Plus Plus. This one's a strange one because firstly, I don't know the team, never spoken to them, but it's a fascinating concept. So this one actually, instead of you minting and it being a random piece from the collection, you actually design the piece yourself. So you'll be given a number of options as to what traits you want to pick, and you'll be given the same options as everyone else. And if you pick the best looking piece and all of the best looking traits, I think you're going to have the most common snowman available. So actually, the rarer ones might be the worst looking ones.
Yeah.
I'm not quite sure how that's going to play out. I'm not sure if I like it or I hate it, but it's
Yeah.
something that's new, and I'll definitely be keeping my eye on it.
So let's talk about that one, because I was on your, I think it wasn't you all, it was Kalau did a Twitter Spaces, and the Snowmen got on there and they talked about that. And what's funny is we're actually in the development of that same, the exact same code for our projects to do that in the future. And we actually have, I'm not going to share all the alpha or which projects they're going to be used on, but we already have it planned for Gen 2 and Gen 3 of several of our projects where um, what we're going to do is we're going to take, so I'll just give this out. I'll just go ahead and say it. I'm not over promising and under delivering. This is going to happen. But we have our Creature of the Cave Gen 2. So this is major alpha, maybe the biggest alpha I give here. So we have Creatures of the Cave Gen 2 coming out. It's kind of our premier project, was Creature of the Cave, or our Genesis project, not premier. Astro Kid is our premier project right now with the most sales and everything. But it was our Genesis project. Number 2 is coming out. It's the most incredible generative artwork I've ever seen. It's going to be a large supply. But the reason for the large supply is we're going to have another collection where you get to actually create your own the same way as a snowman. But instead of paying for it, what you'll be able to do, and I'm not going to announce the details on how many you'll have to burn and all that, but you'll be able to burn multiple of Gen 2 of our Creature of the Cave, and then you'll be able to in a different collection. So it's not going to mess up the rarities there. It's just going to shrink the collection, making them all more valuable. But we'll have a separate collection where people can do their one-of-one custom. So it's 2 of the craziest artists you've seen, and you'll be able to basically put your base character in, pick any attributes you want. And then there's a lot of game theory. Like, will people just create them because they'll think they'll create the most rare and cool looking one for people to buy, or they just do one they want themselves as like their dream, creature? So I think what you mentioned about like, what are people going to pick? Yeah, I think there's a lot of game theory to that. I think that when you do a mint like that, because we're also going to use that same concept for another project where actually for the mint, we'll sell it out real quick, and then you'll have like 24 hours to design your character, and we won't reveal any of them. None of them will be revealed until that 24 hours is up. So nobody knows who got the rare ones, who didn't. And so I was thinking the exact same thing you said. I thought, man, I'm going to buy like 10, and I'll design 5 the way I love them, so I'll keep those, and then I'll design 5 the way I think they'll be rare. And so just like you mentioned, I bet people will pick all the cool looking things, thinking those will be rare, but then those will actually be really common. So I'm going to make the dumbest,
Yeah.
most common looking characters, and they're going to end up being the rarest. I swear. And so then here's another idea, Dyslexic. Since we're just sharing alpha, you guys could take this too because it's going to be open source anyways. But we're going to do another one that's a rarity game. So what happens is it's all generative. So you mint it, you get your character. But then what you can do is you'll be able to burn that character plus Phantom, or like on a bonding curve. So it gets more and more expensive every one that's burned. And then you'll be able to create your own. So you could you could sweep the floor, burn the least rare item, making those items all more rare in the collection, and then you could create the most rare item. So you could go from having the worst to now having the best, but then the next person could pay a little more Phantom and do the same thing, and it just keeps going and going and going until people aren't willing to pay the price anymore. So we're really excited for, and people are like, well, what's the utility and how are we going to use this thing? Man, we have so much fun utility, and you know, game theory. It's not game five, it's game theory. Like, what are people going to do that I think it's just going to be so fun. So the second quarter of this year is really going to be incredible. So hope you like some of those ideas. Once we have everything ready, you guys can feel free to steal them or develop them, and then we'll steal it. Either way.
Just to pull you up on something, you're calling it alpha, but you just said it's coming in the second quarter of this year. I'm not sure how that applies. So when is that coming? The second quarter of the year? When's that?
So really, I'm saying second quarter because I want to give time, but it's possible that we could be ready to do those next month. So I'm just saying second quarter because I don't want to overpromise and underdeliver. But it's possible that the software is done the coding is done in 2 weeks for that. So just want to give time. But yeah, you'll know. But just one thing, if you follow our projects, what you'll see is a lot of time we have so many projects going on, so many things we're launching that it's like constant hype of what's happening. So a lot of times we'll just announce it like the week of, hey, this is what's happening, snapshot being on this date, or we're dropping this Friday, because we just have so many things in the work that it's hard to really just focus on one thing as far as what we're communicating. So it makes it constant fun for the community, I think. So let's talk about artists. We didn't get to talk tinfoil. Any real quick ones that are minting? I know, Scully's. They're close. They're getting closer and closer to minting out. I've seen
Join
a
the
lot of
cult.
attention.
Yeah, Scully's joined the cult. Slothtopia in Metaverse Experience. That's a super innovative one. I think across all chains, basically. Phantom Boy, Visionary Boy, they're closing out their mint. Get in on it. And then what I want to mention, kind of an OG that's been sleeping on, Titbits. I was going through my oldest NFTs now that PaintSwap has put in that filter, and realized it was real close to the top of my list. So it's one of kind of the OG projects on Phantom that is still currently minting.
Sorry, I was saving that for the NFT Alpha After Dark. The NFT Alpha After Dark will have Titbit stock. Okay, so no, that's awesome. Awesome. Let's talk about some artists that people should know on AVAX. Like Phantom, I think, is known for having a lot of great one-of-one artists, and we have 2 really good auction houses, but the one that I was introduced to that got me going in Phantom on NFTs in general was the Tomb Heads auction house, which is a weekend, like Saturday, Sunday auction where they got about 30, 40 artists. It's like a 3 or 4 hour event. People like plan their weekends around it. And it just features all those one-on-one artists. And so I don't know if there's one-on-one artists that people should know about, or maybe some just artists who are doing generative stuff. That's incredible. But who's some people that we should know about in AVAX for that stuff?
Yeah, so the first and potentially the OG is Hodl Avax. So HODL_Avax is one for you to check out. It's done some of the most original pieces on X chain. So the majority of all smart contracts on Avalanche take place on the C chain. X chain NFTs are something that have never really been touched. in terms of projects, huge projects, that is. Huddle Avax is doing all sorts of stuff. So in terms of 1 out of 1 pieces, he would be the first shout. I think someone who's started getting some traction is a guy who was called from our alpha chat within Apes, Burger Picks. Now that type of work is strange because the guy was literally not known by anyone until 3 weeks ago when 10 people in the AVAX Apes alpha chat said, "Have you seen this? Let's just buy one of them for 0.1 AVAX." And then he immediately sold out the next set that he put up for the same price. Then again, the third set. And then all of a sudden you've got like Cryptofish, the founder of Joe's, now buying them on the aftermarket for 10 AVAX per piece. The artist come out himself saying like, you've changed my life. I don't quite know what to do. I was just doing this for fun and showing what I can do. So that's a nice little backstory behind that one, I think. So yeah, Burger Picks is another one to check out, I think, in terms of 1 out of 1 art.
Awesome.
We do have some
Awesome.
huge names. We've got like Feelings. Feelings are another. I'll give a shout out to Feelings. They're more expensive, but they're more expensive for a reason. So check out the collection Feelings. It's known in the world as well as Movement Free, etc.
Awesome. Awesome. What about, I already gave a shout out to little Esper. Who do you want to shout out in as an artist spotlight, Tinfoil?
Yeah, well, I want to. We just minted out the magical ghouls, so I do want to give a shout out to Elle. I think she's going to just be an absolute phenom in the space. She's a developer, musician, artist. I think one of the best pixel artists on our chain. Yeah, I just think she's going to be a phenom. And then I'm still just a Limit Break. I need to get a Limit Break piece so bad, man. I got to give all the love to Limit Break.
Yeah, I think that it was nice this weekend at Tombheads to just see the resurgence in the prices of the 101 art. I mean, things were flying. It was not fun as a collector. It was fun as like just to witness it, but it was not fun for the bidding. But just to see what things were going for was incredible. Also, a lot of Lucky Luciano and Bit Damons dropping their collection yesterday. They're all 101s, but dropping 20 at a time of their Damon Punks are super sick. I like them. I was very mad. I had to pick my daughter up from school. Like she's late if I pick her up at the exact time that their drop was. So I picked her up and then I'm like in the car and like, hey, we're not going home yet. We're gonna sit here and we're gonna be bidding on our mobile MetaMask. It kept telling me it was going through. It was like confirm transaction confirm, and then so I thought I bought like 5, and then I noticed that no Phantom was leaving my wallet, and so I got none. So very, very bummed. No, no Damon's here. I literally like, I'm devastated. But really cool project. And then, man, I just want to. Danetron is come on the scene. Incredible artist. He is doing a 101 piece for our Creature of the Cave. So this is a good transition into our labs projects here. But asked him to go ahead and do a 101 piece that we'll put in the mint. And so it'll be one of the rarest ones alongside Septa's 101s. And so I'm super excited. They're both wrapping those up this week. So talking about labs projects, we've given some serious alpha so far about what utility is going to be happening in the future mints. But Creature of the Cave 2 is looking like it'll be ready next Friday. So we're not 100% confirmed we'll post it, but that's the goal and that's what we're shooting for. So super excited about that. Tomorrow, it's not an official Potluck Labs project, but I'm so excited. And honestly, here, we'll wait and talk about this in community events because that's what it is. It's going to be a big event tomorrow that's kind of been unseen before. So let me go back and let's focus on the what's going on with our project. So Astro Kid, we talked a lot about it. You can't talk enough about Astro Kid and what's happening, but we have the AVAX Mint coming up in 8 days. Just so you know, dyslexic, I mean, Astro Kid, it's a 1111 on each chain, so 1,111. It's priced super cheap. It's going to be 0.8 AVAX. And it was 20 Phantom, and it sold out in 30 seconds, of course. But the artist, Teens on Acid, incredible artist, has an incredible community. and the floor shot up within 24 hours to 9 times the mint price within 24 hours. It did 80,000 Phantom, which is over $160,000 in secondary volume in the first week. And so just been on a collection of 11 that was priced at $40 each, basically. I mean, it's been absolutely
Yeah, it's
incredible.
still it's still sitting 6 times above mint right now.
Yeah, it should still be like 10 times. It's just that people get scared and they're like, man, I need liquidity, or I need to,
Hmm.
is the floor dropping? Am I going to miss out? But I think as we get closer to the AVAX mint, it's going to shoot up more. I spent about an hour and a half on the phone with him, or voice chat with him a couple nights ago with teens, and the roadmap of what's to come. I mean, this guy has a vision for 2, 3, 4 years down the road with, I mean, and I have no doubt with his work ethic and the community behind him that he'll execute on that vision. And it's just going to be so valuable. So owning this Genesis collection of his, I think it's going to have crazy high value in the future. But Rat Pack, we already mentioned it. But it is minting. We got 1,500, about 600 to go on AVAX. You'll get a 1-for-1 airdrop. And then what else? We have so many. The Goddess. Okay, so I'll just mention that we dropped the free collection on Phantom, the Goddess of the Cave. We're going to do a mint on AVAX in the next couple weeks for that. Goddess of the Cave. We saved a ton of the attributes for, or traits for AVAX only, so it's going to be a much more diverse collection. It's some really incredible art. Probably the best 3D artist I think I've ever seen, and so super excited about that. What else do you want to say? Anything else on lab projects, tinfoil, or?
We got Orcs coming. Orcs coming to Phantom. Super excited about them. I mean, those look like fucking intense World of Warcraft characters. Yeah, I'm just so excited to like bring this stuff to AVAX now. Like the community on Phantom that we have is just incredible. Like I can't speak highly enough about it. So to now kind of move this into AVAX, to Dyslexic, to kind of hear, you mentioned the holes in the ecosystem. I asked that for a reason because, like, that's the goal, right? You want to fill these holes. So I'm excited to kind of bring what we're trying to bring over there, because I think this could be so beneficial for both ecosystems. Everybody flying back and forth, especially, AnySwap is gonna have this bridge ready in no time. So all of a sudden, when this NFT bridge comes out and Coinbase launches their NFT marketplace and stuff, you're gonna want these projects that are on AVAX and on Phantom, on Harmony. Uh, we're trying to build some blue chips here. So
Heck yeah, super excited about it. And yeah, I was trying to wait on the orcs to the lab mints part, but we'll talk about it. We can just skip through that part. But thinking about the orcs, I had so much fun with the artist. She's incredible, Mashao. She's from Russia, incredible 3D artist. And so it's really like my favorite video game growing up. I played Diablo 2 on the PC. For like years, way beyond its peak, total nerd. And so for that game, you've got your different classes you can pick. And so when I saw the type of art she did, I was like, in my mind, I wanted Diablo 2, World of Warcraft type characters that one day we could turn into avatars, and then people could take those and use them in any game. Because I really believe over the next 6 to 12 months, whether it's a crypto game or not, there's going to be countless games that will open up to allowing you to bring in whatever skins you want to use. And so, talking with her yesterday, I was like, okay, we're ready. The orcs are done. What are we doing next? What are the next characters? And we went through, and we didn't want to like copy a game exactly. So, we went through what would be the most fun for her to draw and design. And so the next Gen 2 is going to be elves. So think like magic, dark elves. Then we've got necromancers. If you don't know what necromancer is, they kind of like raise the dead and stuff. So pretty cool. And then we have shapeshifters. So they'll have like different types of animal heads and stuff. So it's going to be wild. And all the video game nerds out there are going to have the perfect PFPs for them, I'd say. So pretty excited. So community events. Let's talk about tomorrow. I know that music NFTs and what's just decentralizing music is something that's kind of at the core passion of yours and what you want to see happen, Tinfoil. And so tomorrow we have a launch in our Discord to help launch the Jukebox Collective, which is a group of artists who are, leading from the front, making it happen, really being trailblazers in the Phantom music NFT space. And so we're doing a 4-for-1 mint. It's Ned Peppermint is doing his art. He's got a great collection called the Fat Birds. They really look like they'd be out of a comic book. And he has 191 traits, 191 traits in that mint. So on a 1,000-piece collection with 191 traits, the possibilities are like endless. So it's going to be incredible. So you're going to get a PFP, then you're going to get a banner. Now the banner doesn't have near as many traits the PFP does, but you're going to get a banner to brand it with the Fat Birds as a free airdrop, and then you're going to get a free Steven Vinyl airdrop of one of his tracks, and you're going to get a free Triton airdrop of one of his tracks, and then the experience is going to be immersive. So we'll start in the Discord, and then we'll basically go into the metaverse, and you'll be able to walk around and interact and everything while watching on the big screen in the metaverse as Steven Vinyl DJs the event, plays the music. It's going to be an awesome immersive experience like nothing we've ever done before. And so while it's not like a Potluck Labs branded project, we're not taking profit from it or anything. Our team's not taking a cut of it. What we're doing is we're here to support innovation in the space, and we believe that music NFTs have the potential in the very near future to bring over massive amounts of people into Phantom, because you just can't release tracks, you can't release albums in a cost-effective way on Ethereum, on OpenSea, and so we believe it's going to be these like AVAX, Phantom, these other layer ones that are really going to bring it in. So I just want to really hear your thoughts on it, and then Dyslexic, if you have anything you want to say on that, you can as well. But go ahead, Tinfoil.
Yeah, I'm so excited about this one. Again, yeah, like you said, music NFTs. I mean, I'm so excited about the idea of decentralizing music. I think it's super important. But like we're going through the art phase, people have to realize that NFTs in music can have value. So we're kind of gonna force feed you guys some music NFTs behind some art, and then what we're trying to do is, we want you to kind of mint 5 of these fat birds to try to, same art minting experience, but now you're going to get these tracks that you only need one edition of each song, right? So now we want you, giving these away, trying to grow your following on Twitter, whether it's hosting community events, whatever, but it's an opportunity to get these artists out further in their reach, while kind of just, like I said, force feeding people music NFTs. Yeah, I'm just so excited about it. Never mind the whole new minting experience. Like we're gonna get to go into a metaverse, kind of watch a live concert. Yeah, it's super exciting.
Yeah, I hope Stephen Vinyl wears clothes, because a lot of these, a lot of these mint parties, we don't have cameras on, we can't in Discord. I forget to put pants on, but he's going to be standing up DJing, and we just don't need anything, X-rated. So, Stephen, I see you're in the chat, so just wear your Sunday best. So. Dyslexic, any
uh,
thoughts on that? I mean, I don't know if you guys have brought music NFTs have really become a thing on AVAX, or if you've had any immersive type mint experience parties like that, but what are your thoughts on that?
No, it's fascinating here you talk about it. We've had it come up as a topic a couple of times on Twitter Spaces sessions that we've held about music NFTs. When's it happening? We have had bits and bobs, but nothing has really taken fire yet. The reason I was smirking and laughing throughout that, because this mint journey that you spoke of sounded fascinating. We've not had an experience like that yet on Avalanche. And I think that's what I'd said. People in Phantom, and we're looking on the outside looking in at Phantom and saying volume's not great. Doesn't matter what the volume's like. If you're bringing new things to the scene, that'll excite a lot of the Avalanche community who hear that. So I will also do my best to bring a following over to that event if possible.
Yeah,
yeah, we
awesome, man. That'd
appreciate
be
that breakdown.
incredible. Yeah, so it's going to be tomorrow at 7 p.m. UTC. 7 p.m. UTC in our Discord. And here, I didn't even share this. It's 13 Phantom. 13 Phantom, and you get 4 NFTs. 4. 13. So
For
you're
what? That's
basically,
$30. That's $30 right now.
Yeah, if that. Yeah, it's crazy. So you're gonna mint the Neb Peppermint Fatbird. You're gonna get airdropped or whitelisted to be able to go on and do the free mints. I'm not sure exactly the method that they're doing, but either way, in your wallet the same day, you're gonna have the two music NFTs, and you're also gonna have the banner photo, all for 13 Phantom with only 1,000 supply. So, and then what's awesome is if you mint multiple ones of these, if you're able to then take that music and do giveaways. So our goal is that people on Twitter and stuff, because you only need one track to listen to and to own yourself. So why not do giveaways? Why not do cross-chain giveaways? Why not try to, make as many people as possible aware of the music that's available? So you're probably going to want to own or mint multiple Fatbirds because the price and the art is awesome. But then in addition, now you have the supplies to even if it's growing your own Twitter following, because you're doing giveaways for that or supporting projects. um, oh yes, thank you for reminding me of this plot twist, our producer extraordinaire. Six, yeah, so six of the birds will have or they'll have a shirt on, and the shirt has jukebox on it. So if you are one of the people who mints one of the jukebox shirts, you're actually going to get a physical shirt sent to you. Okay, so one from there's three going to be given out from the Stephen Vinyl collection with his artwork for it. There's going to be three given out from the Triton collection, and then there's 20 that have headphones. What do they get for the headphones? I forget. 10 each. This is super cool. So Stephen, maybe you can post this in the chat. But yeah, shirt and experiences. So 10 people, there's 20 of these with headphones. 10 of them, you're going to get an experience with Triton, where basically it's in a small group of 10 people max, 10 people max. And you'll basically have an experience in the recording studio with him where he can teach you about recording, producing music. It's live AMA style, going to be super awesome. So one of the huge things I totally thank you for reminding me. This was like kind of the core to doing this is with all these NFT music mints. We wanted it to be about connecting to the artist, because rather than just going on iTunes or Spotify or something and just buying the music for $1 or having a subscription where you have no access to the artist, we wanted any mint that had to do with music to have immersive experiences where you actually have access to the artists. And so we're just starting with this one where 26 of these 1,000 are going to have either a physical that you get or a customized experience with the artist. And so I think that's going to be incredible. And you'll have the opportunity. Those will probably sell for a lot on the secondary market, because there'll be a period of time between when you can, when the snapshot will be to cash that in. And so if you mint one of those, that could be a high dollar value for an aspiring artist who would like to connect and maybe get that studio time. So super excited about that. Okay. That was community events. Do we have any other community events, Tinfoil? Was there anything else we needed
Uh,
to hit?
the one I want to just mention that I know DeFi Dino just did a poker tournament recently, which I wasn't a part of because it was in the middle of one of our mints. But I think that's a super cool community event that I will be joining in on sooner than
Yes.
later. Is some poker nights.
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, you do bingo, so you're there for the geriatric group, but who like the bingo halls. And, but then he's like the cool, Dino King's like the cool young hip person who wants the cool crowd to play poker. So I mean,
Yeah,
we have
yeah,
both things going. We're here for the senior citizens in our Discord, but the DeFi Dinos, they got it going on. But also they have
yeah.
their marble races. Have you ever seen these marble races, Dyslexic? It's like a website where you can load in a bunch of marbles, and so you could have like 100 marbles going. And it goes in this elaborate race course. Have you ever seen that?
Yeah, that's pretty crazy. Again, the reason I was laughing is Penguin Family also had a poker tournament and I won it. So I'm the poker king on Avalanche. So I'm very upset that DeFi Dinos have had one as well. I need to find out who won that event.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, we can have like a heads up on our live YouTube stream, just heads up poker, high stake, high stakes poker. And the winning project has to make their next project on the opposite chain. Or the,
Yeah,
the losing project does. The winning one. That'd be intense right there. It looks like he's puckering up a little bit about that. So a little
yeah.
pressure.
Dyslexic, I did have a question for you in the
I'm
chat
also
here. We were talking about one-of-one art earlier, and you did mention a couple one-of-one artists. Where can we go find this stuff? Do you guys have any kind of auction house? Is there a marketplace where that we can find this one-of-one art?
Yeah, so navigation is a little bit difficult. However, the majority of one out of one art is posted on Kalao now, the marketplace
Okay.
Kalao, KALAO.io.
Awesome.
Actually,
Awesome.
finding the artist is the difficult part. But
Yeah.
feel free to anyone hit me up on Twitter, hit me up in Discord. I can share who these people are.
Did you have a community? You're about to talk, but there's that delay in our time. Did you have a community event you wanted to hit on?
No, I was just laughing because I know my wife is going to be watching this, and you mentioned bingo, and that might be the only reason she will ever want to buy an NFT because she just does not understand. She doesn't want to understand, but bingo is something that she absolutely loves. So I'm scared to go back in the house now.
Well, I'll tell you what. What we'll do is we'll do a bingo party night in your Discord. We'll put one on for you guys in your Discord. It would be awesome. Your wife
Oh, it'd be
has
a
to
riot.
attend.
That sounds great. We'd love to take you up on the offer.
Awesome, awesome. Well then, Labs Mints. We talked about them, but here's one thing I want to hit with. We're going to be trying to do this from now on, to because we have so many projects, so many holders. So to continue to reward them while still allowing people to come into the community through mints, not just secondary, is we're going to make it extremely discounted for our mints going forward for Potluck Labs holders. And so the first one we're doing that with is with the Orcs. And so, I mean, these are really high quality 3D art with an incredible roadmap, incredible artists. And so I think they'll retain a lot of value. But we're going to do it half off for Potluck Labs holders. So we're taking a screenshot. It's tomorrow at 9 p.m. UTC is a screenshot of all Potluck Labs. So any project, including the rats on AVAX. So any Potluck Labs project that your wallet's in it, that wallet will be whitelisted to be able to purchase at 25 Phantom. Everyone else will be, it's 50 Phantom, right? Did we announce 50? Is that what it
50, I
is?
think. Yep.
Yeah, 50 Phantom for everyone else. L proved that people will buy at 50 Phantom, so we'll test that. But I think it will sell out with just Potluck Labs holders. Like, pretty sure that most of the sales are going to be at 25 Phantom because we have so many holders of our projects now. But then also, we're going to be launching just a little more alpha. I shared some pictures over the last week or so, but very soon we'll be launching the next pigs where they've been mutated, and who knows what the strange ones the aliens have done to them since abduction. And with that mint, it's going to be extremely discounted, but only if you hold a potluck pig and a strange one. So we airdropped a free strange one to all Potluck Pigs holders. So if you got in Potluck Pigs, more than 2 weeks ago, you probably have both. But if not, you might want to go pick up a Potluck Pig and a strange one. It'll be an extremely discounted mint for just those holders, to reward them for holding, because it's that storyline. So that's what we've got. We got the mint party tomorrow for the Jukebox Collective and Ned Peppermint, 13 Phantom, 4 NFTs, 7 p.m. UTC. Friday is the Orcs, 25 Phantom for Potluck Labs holders, 50 Phantom for non-holders, and that will be at 9 p.m. UTC to let our Australian friends get a little more sleep. 9 p.m. UTC. Then next Wednesday on the 16th, we have the Astro Kid AVAX launch, which is going to be incredible. 0.8 AVAX for 1111. We still have the Rat Pack going on, about 600 mints left. And I think that's all we have announced right now. I'm sure we'll have another, COTC 2, hopefully next Friday, but we'll announce official details and price. Price is going to be 20 Phantom. We're airdropping 1,600 for free. 1,600 for free, 2 each to COTC 1 holders. Crazy. We'll get into that next week, big time. Yeah, I think that's it, man. Tinfoil, anything else?
No, I really appreciate this conversation, Dyslexic. Yeah, dude, I'm just super excited. The way you guys have welcomed us has been incredible, and I'm excited to try to bring as much value to the community as possible.
Yeah, well, the reaction's been very good, and likewise, thank you for inviting me on, and thank you for coming over to Avalanche. It's not the easiest of journeys. There's much easier opportunities out there than coming over to Avalanche. So we appreciate you coming over, and we're excited for all this alpha that you're bringing.
Mhm.
For sure. Well, just DM me about those easier opportunities after the show, and we will go that route instead. So, well, hey, for Potluck Labs, Tinfoil, and myself, thank you, Dyslexic. Thank you, AVAX Apes, and thank you to our community who's watching live. Those of you in the chat, those of you who watch later, we love you. We promise to continue to do everything we can to bring value to you. Hope you got some alpha today. We'll see you next time.